Question. Do you find Mario scary? Alright, how about now? Super Mario is probably one of my favorite video game franchises of all time, right up there with Kirby and Fatal Fury. And I like Mario, I think everyone else likes Mario, but who really is scared of Mario, huh? He's like the sweetest, most nice Italian man you've ever met. Like, how can you be scared of this guy? Well, okay, I mean, people thought Mr. Rogers was a serial killer, but that's aside from the point. Mario himself, he's not scary. However, that didn't stop people from making horror games based around him. I like covering horror on this channel. I have plenty of videos talking about horror related content. So why don't I talk about horror relating to one of my favorite pieces of media of all time, Super Mario. I got home one night and I slapped this iceberg together and voila, Mario horror. Of course, I've been wanting to do an iceberg on this channel for a while now. I just never really got the motivation to finish one of them. So this is gonna be the iceberg video on this channel. Hope you love it. So when I say Mario horror, I mean just kind of anything that is considered like a creepypasta or maybe at least like a scary video game that's related to Mario. And I even have some troll pastas on here because, well, life is so much more fun when you enjoy the troll pastas. Basically, if it's considered scary, it's included on here. And there's not that many entries because, well, I'll be frank, I don't know half of the Mario scary stuff these days. I also wanted to limit the EXE games because they all play the fucking same. If the EXE game stuck out to me, yeah, it's gonna be included on here. I don't got much of a fancy intro, you probably already know what an iceberg chart is, but before we dive on into it, let me talk about two topics that should be on here, but I didn't include for obvious reasons. The first one is Luigi's Mansion, because this is the closest we're going to get to an official Mario horror game. Now, if you think Luigi's Mansion is scary, shit, you got me there. At least we can agree this game is peak, right? But I mean, there's 3 games and 2 remakes out of this series, so you already know what Luigi's Mansion is. The other thing I'm not talking about are the Hell Valley Sky Trees from Super Mario Galaxy 2. They're pretty well known already, and I don't feel like I need to cover them. Of course, Tier 1 has some really widely known information on it, so
it is what it is.
It is what it is. But enough of the bullshit, let's dive right into the spooky Marcus. When anyone thinks of Mario creepypasta, this is the first one that comes up because it's one of the most famous video game creepypastas of all time. But to give you the rundown in case you don't know, back in the day, this ROM was uploaded to the site Super Mario World Central, which I used to visit back in the day a lot. But on this site, a mysterious uploader created this game called Mario. It looked like a normal Super Mario World ROM, however, a lot of things were changed, as in the intro, when instead of saying Bowser's back at it again, it said Mario's back at it again. All the levels are just different, devoid of enemies, and there's different little text blocks that just have random pieces of text on them. Most of them trying to call Mario a bastard without calling him a bastard. The game almost has the same level structure as you get to Iggy's castle and beat him normally, but then the text starts to read out like a police report. Apparently, there's a murder victim that got fucking maimed by Mario, or who we assume is Mario. And then a little after Iggy's castle, you get to a level with an invisible pipe, you go down it, and then the game just ends. The one thing many people remember from this game was the image that was found in the source code of the game. Oh, look at him. Isn't he gorgeous? I won't lie, this image actually used to keep me up at night when I was like 9 or 10. That's essentially the creepypasta. I mean, the craziest thing was that it's a real game you can go out and play, but the image was the most impactful and important part of this story because this image became lost media for a good amount of time. There were many leads and many rabbit holes to go down to try to find where this image was, and it was only found actually like last year, I believe. It was also revealed that this was just a failed ARG written by a teenager who was bored, so that's kind of why it plays out like this. And you know, I don't find it scary anymore, but I won't lie, I still like this story just because of the ride you went on when everything was going down. You just had to be there to appreciate the story. The Wario apparition kind of became a meme recently, but for a little while it was considered scary. So what the fuck is a Wario apparition? Well, on the Vishkaz Mario 64 Iceberg, this was listed under there, and apparently it talks about where Wario can just appear as a floating head in Mario 64 and run after Mario trying to eat him or something. And there are just so many different variations of this, each trying to get scarier and scarier. But the image that was associated with the Wario apparition just comes from E3 1996. Also, Wario hates Indianapolis.
Indianapolis? Oh, I hate Indianapolis. Only place I hate more than Indianapolis? Chicago.
This game is just simply known as apostrophe the. Now this game is actually another Super Mario World ROM, which is really impressive if you look into this game. And just like Mario, it's equally as mysterious, except you have to piece the story together yourself. Well, okay, not anymore, there's multiple videos talking about this game, but it is believed the alternate title of the game is called Coronation Day because it's listed in the game's files. But from what I can remember and gather about this game, all I remember is that it's about Mario and Peach getting married, moving to a woods, and then Peach gets possessed by a forest demon. I don't know, it's a pretty cool game. You should go check it out if you can. The every copy is personalized theory also comes from the Vishkaz Mario 64 Iceberg. The theory proposes that every single copy of Super Mario 64 is different in one way or another. You know that one dumb shit kid that shoves crayons up his nose trying to tell you he unlocked Luigi in Super Mario 64? Well, what if he actually did and your copy just doesn't have Luigi? Or what if he actually was able to ride Yoshi in said game? Your copy just isn't able to let you ride Yoshi. Oh, what's that? Your copy doesn't let you play as Wario? Sucks to be you, dumb fuck! Now this theory is kind of a joke theory, but it kind of spread as a creepypasta online because it started mentioning like eerie shit and whatnot. Pretty much what you can expect from theories like this is that they'll start off normal and then someone gets really paranoid of them and then they just become creepypastas. But we have a game inspired by this theory. B3313, or the Super Mario 64 internal plexus, is based entirely off this theory. This ROM is large. I mean large. Like, you got people trying to map this shit out, and it's still not fully 100% complete. The 411 here is that pretty much it's a randomized Mario 64 where everything leads to a different thing, pretty much. You could enter in Babam's battlefield and exit into an entirely different level, and maybe be Luigi instead of Mario. There are almost endless possibilities in this game, and it's really fun to just explore and look at all the weird shit. The reason it's on here is because there are some creepy levels in here. I Hate You is a really popular Mario creepypasta that was released by Slime Beast, the guy who made Abandoned by Disney. Slime Beast claims this pasta is a joke, and I'll be honest, I took this pasta seriously my entire life until I found out it was a joke, and now I can just see it's really fucking terrible. The rundown of the story is that it's about a guy playing Mario World, and he gets to the sunken ghost ship level, and the normal exit's blocked off by a boo with no eyes, so you have to take the secret exit, and then Bowser cries blood, and a new level opens up. It's this dank, dusty, musty, crusty hallway with fucking blood written on the wall saying, I hate you. You also got some boos trying to look at you, but they got no eyes, and then a bonsai bill launches at you, but you get a star power, so you can just kill it. And then there's a water section where a bunch of dead Marios are stacked up on spikes, and they chase after you, and actually, this was kind of an unnerving part of the game, but they can't kill you. And also, don't touch the Michael Jackson mushroom. I know this is not in the original story, but it's in the game, and I mostly know the game. But then you fight this Mega Man style Luigi Bowser, as he tells you Bowser doesn't work alone. You see, Luigi was evil this entire time. So anyways, you throw Luigi in the lava, and then you give him the Gustavo Fring treatment. Good job, you fucking idiot. So yeah, that's the story, and it got really popular. Mario.exe is one of those games that was capitalizing off the hype of Sonic.exe back in 2011, and Sonic.exe is complete and utter dog shit. So Mario.exe has you play as Luigi, and you find Mario being evil and creepy and having bloody eyes and killing people, and yeah. The one thing everyone remembers about this game is that it is hard as balls. First section with the spikes, if you don't press right immediately, you're dying. There are also these mushrooms mushroom stacks where if you touch them, you barf and die and shit. And these can get like really big and you need to be really precise on your jumping. And it just goes on like this until Mario just kills you at the end of the game anyway. You know, I don't like this game, but I still think it's better than Sonic.exe, only just because you're doing more than walking to the right the entire game and looking scared. But yeah, this is probably the big example of the EXE type game I want to mention. There was a point in time where this got really popular. Pretty much, someone made an anti-piracy screen with Mario Party DS, and it has the shot where all of Mario's friends get thrown into prison, and it has some spooky music over it, and it just tells you piracy's a crime. People took this and ran, and there were so many creative ideas with this shit. For a time, it was really interesting seeing what people could do with fake anti-piracy screens. They just kept evolving and advancing and getting better, and then they just kind of got worse after a while because they were stale. But overall, it was pretty neat to see. Mario the Music Box is a very weird game. You either love it or you hate it. There's barely any in between. But a little plot synopsis is that it's just this spooky house that has a rumor about it, where if you go in, you never come back, and then Mario and Peach wanted to investigate it because it's close to the Mushroom Kingdom. But Peach never comes along, so Mario does it alone, and he finds this music box, and then the house is kind of a trap and it's gonna eat him alive or something. And Luigi has to come in and save him, and there's multiple endings, and yeah, this game is just large. It's inspired by Corpse Party, and that's a game I've never really played. The one thing I will say about this game is that it has almost absolutely nothing to do with Mario except for the brothers and the occasional mention of the princess. And I mean, the game looks decent, but to me it's kind of like the House of M of Mario fan games. And to those who don't understand my comic book reference, what I'm saying is that this game is so far up its own ass it becomes good. Personally, I wasn't a big fan of this game myself growing up, and nowadays I still just kind of find it weird, but it's got a really big fan base behind it, so if you want to go check it out, go for it. I'll be honest with you, this game just kind of looks like any other EXE game to me. The only reason it's on this list is because of Vinesauce. Mario 85 refers to this demo where you play as Luigi hopping over blocks as he gets to the end where he sees Mario call him champ, and then Luigi's name changes to Lucas, and then Luigi gets chased by Mario who just became bigger. And the chase itself, yeah, it's kind of cool. I mean, it was more fun watching Vinny just fail at it though. But Mario dies and comes back with a hearty Yahoo! Now being synthesized on the Bane Venom, he chases you until you get to a pipe and then the demo's over. Fairly straight, simple game, about like a 6 out of 10. I think there might be more about this game, but I've only ever heard of the demo and I've only seen the demo, so I don't know what else there is. Mario Says the Fuck Word is a troll pasta created by Oni Plays in one of their episodes, and I just wanted to include it because I needed something to laugh over. I'm not gonna take the words out the horse's mouth, so I'm just gonna play the clip for you.
That's enough of that level.
Mamma mia, I got fucking killed! Said Mario as he walked outside.
Then the player says, "Did Mario swear?"
Did I just hear that from the video?
That's my creepypasta. Mario Says the Fuck Word.
I wish that was a creepypasta, was
One
that?
night I was playing Super Mario 64
He said no naughty word.
while traveling
The
through
end.
the dire docks upon my usual business. Mario turned his head in a 40-degree angle and said, "Fuck."
Then my mother comes into the room and says, "Are you swearing?" I said it was Mario, not me.
My mother grabbed me by the ear and she threw me into the bathroom.
She threw me into the
She
game.
fed me hair
She threw me into the bathroom. I went, "Oh!"
She jumped on my face.
She did the ground pound.
She swung me around by the hair and said, "So long, Gay Bowser."
This is a very spooky story.
That night, I decided to revisit the old dire docks for further inspection. This time, Mario pivoted his face towards the camera and said, "Cunt."
And he shook his
My mother ran in
You
bellowing.
guys, you will never know how funny that was. Chris shook his head in a really funny way.
My mother ran in holding the Mario
I said,
manual.
"Not you again."
Started belting me across the mouth with it. Then she started cutting the webbing of my fingers with it. She grabbed my lip and
My
said,
fingers became longer.
She grabbed my lip and said, if you ever act like that no good Wario again, I'll pull off.
I said, it's Mario, Mom.
She was a fake gamer girl the whole time.
Scrupulous Finger is a big fuck-off guy with a big old fingy. He was created as a joke in one of those Twitter posts that pretends to be legitimate game facts, saying he was a cut character from New Super Mario Bros. DS and Super Mario 64 DS, and apparently Miyamoto gets really upset when he's brought up in interviews. He became a little bit of a meme on Twitter, and that's all I really saw him for, but apparently some people got scared of him and started making like creepypastas or some shit about him. My question is, how the fuck do you get scared of this thing? Eyeless is a really cool ROM for Super Mario World where you play as Mario without eyes. Go figure, self-explanatory, eh? But what I really love about this game is how it looks, because the ROM is just beautiful. While it may be just black and white, I'll tell you there's a lot more to it, as it's a lot puzzle based and you gotta go back and forth between a lot of different areas. I just love the fact that everything in this game that isn't Mario is just a shadow. And the game just ends with you cheating in a way as you get a mushroom, but the game tells you you shouldn't have had that mushroom, so it just removes your eyes forever. This is another Super Mario ROM hack, and I really love how this one looks. Pretty much Mario has to fight Cthulhu. And I don't think I need to tell you who Cthulhu is. I mean, unless you never heard of H.P. Lovecraft. It's a neat little platformer with very unique sprite art, down to the enemies, to the items, to even Mario himself. And throughout this game, you gotta collect different cat tokens. You know, this shit's so goddamn funny when you remember what H.P. Lovecraft named his cat. But if you collect all the cat tokens, you can actually have a boss fight with Cthulhu, and it's pretty cool. And if you don't, well, you just don't grasp his true form and Mario dies or something. Super Mario 64 Damned is your stereotypical cliche creepypasta about a haunted game. Okay, so the rundown is that this story is about a guy and his girlfriend sitting on their couch talking about classic video games, and then they both decide that Super Mario 64 is the best game for the Nintendo 64. It's not. So the guy's uncle owns a video game store, and they go and find Super Mario 64 and a Nintendo 64 with it. And conveniently, this guy did not even own a Nintendo 64 or Mario 64. So he paid $20 and got it. But the uncle warns him because the Nintendo 64 is evil. So anyway, they play it, they try to delete a save file, then the game screams at them. But they load the save and now it has 66 stars because, oh, 666 spooky. And then they find Mario hanging from a noose and his eyes are crossed out. And you know, it reasonably disturbed them because originally they thought the game was doing all that screaming and shit because the cartridge was dirty. But he goes downstairs to play on his Nintendo 64 after he and his girl go to sleep and decides to try it out for himself. He tries a different save, but this time, Peach and Toad are dead and Mario's strapped to a table, and there's this big fuck-off black fog guy who's torturing Mario. And then he goes upstairs and finds that Mario's no longer hanging, but he's hanging. And then the guy in the game screams, and then Mario screams, and then the guy in real life screams. Then he passes out and sees a black figure standing over him. Essentially, the story is just a guy finds Mario 64, but it turns out to be a snuff film. Blood whistle. Oh God, blood whistle.
This nigga is trash.
I'm not even gonna front like Super Mario Bros. 3 is not my favorite 2D Mario game of all time. So me and this story, it's on fucking sight. This story follows a college student named Bradley and his blog as he plays this game. And Bradley, for lack of better terms, is a cunt. He gets this not haunted, but hacked Mario 3 ROM. Yes, he plays a hacked Mario 3 ROM, and he treats it like it's a fucking real thing. Part of the reason why this story gets so much fucking hate online is because it's so god darn long. It covers the entire game, and I mean all 8 worlds and everything that happens in between them. And the entire time he's describing it like Mario is actually going through the pain like he's a real person. Yeah, sure, you can get disturbed if your comfort character gets killed or brutally maimed, but they're not real people. Come on, Bradley. The worst part of this story is the ending, because it just ends with Bradley killing himself. It ends with Bradley killing himself over a spooky Mario 3 ROM hack he agreed to play. Suicide is a very heavy topic, and the fact that it's here in a Mario creepypasta where the main character says he's gonna take his own life after playing a hacked Mario 3 ROM. It's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. And I made that bad creepypasta video, dude. I made that shit. This is somehow worse than all of them. Five Nights at Wario's is a FNAF... Wait, I have to cover FNAF again? Who the fuck is Ralph? Who the fuck is Ralph? Five Nights at Wario's is a FNAF fan game made by www.wario, and it centers around Wario and Waluigi owning a business, then dying. It's the same gameplay as the first Five Nights at Freddy's, except with Wario, Waluigi, Luigi, Peach, and Mario as the animatronics in this case. Now, the first game, it did not age well at all, but there is more than one game in this series, and just because we're talking about the first one doesn't mean I can't mention the other ones. And they got characters in them like Donkey Kong, Toad, Bowser, Yoshi, Ashley from WarioWare, and there's even a remake to the first game, and it's actually way better.
Welcome to Intermission.
Whew, that was the first 2 tiers. This is the intermission, folks. Just giving you guys a little break from the comedy and all that, just to get prepared for the rest of the video, you know? Do you like this art? I'm glad you like this art. This art was created by Dylan Skel over on Instagram, Twitter, Newgrounds, and Blue Sky. You should go follow him. He's currently residing in my basement, where he's going to be staying there for the next 5 years, personally doing artwork for me without any financial compensation, by the way. So all the support for him would be very necessary for his survival. Wink wink, nudge nudge, kiss kiss. But also on a more serious note, I just want to say thank you for all the support I've been getting. It actually does mean a lot to me. The past few months have not been very kind to me, like, at all. It's not been as bad as 2024 has been, but it's been pretty stressful on me. Big changes happened recently, and everybody's been nothing but nice, and I thank everyone who's supported me. I'm really trying to get more videos out this year, and when I get 1,000 subs, the Patreon will be launching, but until then, just stick with me. And also, I want to quickly just shout out my brother's band, Stick Drift. They're about to do their first show as this video is being recorded, and it may have happened by the time it's out, it may have not, but they're about to release their album here soon. I think they are. They have an album in the works, and I just want, if it comes out, just please support them. Please give them a listen. They're really fucking good. And if you want to support me, I would highly advise you support them as well, because that would just be the same as supporting me. Anyways, this is a sincere thank you too, but thank you for supporting me throughout this entire year, and I plan on making just more videos in general. I don't even know what to say. This is like totally off script, but thank you. Anyways, I'm gonna get back to the video now, and also just wanted to extend it so you can look at this art a bit more, because I gotta support my boy Dylan. Yeah, thank you. I already told you I don't play EXE games a lot, but TooLate.exe is one of the only EXE games I actually sat down and said, yeah, this looks really good. Of course, my bias for Super Mario Bros. 3 helps a lot in this game's case, but I also think the sprite art is really good. From what I've played of the game and what I've seen of the game, I think the game is about Mario losing Luigi, and then this, like, Navajo skinwalker Luigi comes up and terrorizes Mario, and he puts him through hell. Also, Mario accidentally kills Luigi in this game, so Luigi is just a vengeful spirit who kills Peach and Bowser and whatnot. Hey, evil Luigi! But I really do recommend this game. It's probably my favorite EXE game on this list, and I really recommend it. A Haunting Most Mario is an OG troll pasta all the way back from 2011, and it's a very short story, and I'm actually going to read it for you guys because I really love this story. Once, I wanted to play Mario, but I didn't have a Nintendo for it, and I was at a flea market. The old man I saw had Mario and had an NES, but the label was not there. The man said it was owned by a dead kid named Jim. I just said, whatever, because I was eager to play Mario on my new NES. Why am I talking like Xavier Renegade Angel? You slumber, cucumber. I plugged it in and everything seemed normal. I played World 1-1 and beat it. Then I tried the old warp pipe trick, and when I got to the pipes, instead of the usual text saying, welcome to the warp zone, it said, welcome to the scary hell place. I thought this was weird. I said, whatever, and used the farthest warp pipe. The intro screen showed the worlds, Death World 666. The graphics seemed off, and it sounded like screams were coming from the game. It was super scary, but I wasn't scared and kept playing. After a while, I hit a place that was impossible to pass because of spikes, so I had to die. I kept trying until my lives were at 0. I thought it was game over, but Mario came back, and this time it looked like his face was bloody. As I started playing the level, it turned to a hidden cloud level, and it looked like Mario had angel wings. A spooky digital voice came out of the Nintendo that sounded like it said, no hope. As I was about to grab a mushroom, the screen went black. I reset the NES, and the game came up. This time, the title screen was different, and Mario's face was bloody. It scared me so much that I reset it again. As it came on, the digital voice said, you can't run from the funk. The screen was hyper-realistic, and it showed Mario again, only this time his face was mine, and me and my family's faces skeletons. It was so realistic. I couldn't believe it. I was compelled to try the game again. This time, I started it. As the first Goomba walked towards Mario, Mario turned towards the screen and started screaming, no mas! No mas! It sounded like high-quality CD audio. Also, blast processing! I screamed and turned off the game. I put it away. Later that week, I noticed my family acting distantly. I decided to research Mario games, and I found out that Mario was in a secret game that was only released in 2 arcades on Friday the 13th on June 6, 1997. You fucking cocksucker. It seemed weird, so I started playing video games again. I decided to put in the Mario game again. I loaded it up, and I saw my save file. I clicked it, and Mario said, why are you no stop playing my game? I didn't take his warning and played anyway. I got it to Bowser and won, but when I got to Peach, there was a Toad there instead, and he said, Peach is dead! Then a ghost face came up and had a lady's face, and Princess Peach is a lady. I reset the game for the last time. I opened up my save file, and it changed my name. It said, Jim died, bro! Ah! Then my mom walked in and she screamed. I was dead the whole time, and guess what? My name was Jim! So anyway, I don't know if any of you guys have experienced anything like that. It might have just been a bad dream, but anyway, my mom sold the cartridge at a yard sale, so I don't have it anymore. But you should believe me, guys, because it's true. It's true. Please Please Come to the Castle is a Super Mario 64 ROM hack made for the YouTuber and speedrunner Simple Flips. Shoutouts to Simple Flips. It basically involves an eyeless Peach telling Mario to please come to the castle over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And Mario, being the good little Italian boy he does. There's basically Peach's eyes everywhere, and it's just her saying, Dear Mario over and over again. And it's actually a pretty hard ROM hack because it was made for Simple Flips. Like, there are portions of this game where the floor will just turn to TV static and it just becomes instant death quicksand. But overall, I'd highly recommend you play this one for yourself because I prefer the ROM hacks over the actual like EXE style games. I just think the ROM hacks have a lot more creativity in them. A game with a similar name to the last game is Another Princess is in Our Castle. This game is a lot more like Amnesia than Mario, but it's an open realm Mario 64 inspired horror game where you play as Mario holding a lantern and you have to go into the castle and collect different keys or items. All the while you're getting chased by a ghost lamprey version of Princess Peach, and if she spots you, she'll stop at nothing to kill you. You can hide from her with these chests lying around the area. However, there are toads scouring the area, and if they see you, they will latch onto your face and alert Peach to your presence. Peach also has the ability to phase through doors, meaning you can barely hear her in this game. And if she sees you hide in a chest, you're done for, buddy. But overall, I think it's a pretty fun game. I think you should go check it out.
Wanna play a little game, plumber boy?
Jigsaw's Test is a Super Mario World ROM hack inspired by the Saw movies. Essentially, Mario is locked in the room by Billy the Puppet from the Saw movies, and he has to try to get out before he gets brutally killed. I think the level design in this one is actually pretty cool, as it's a puzzle-based Mario platformer, and the atmosphere in this game is also pretty cool. Although this one is pretty old, I won't lie. I don't have much else to say about it. It's just a really cool novelty game and nothing else. Luigi's Insanity is another very old Mario horror game that is on this list. It's basically what would happen if Mario was in Clock Tower, and it's the closest thing I'm gonna get to talking about Luigi's Mansion on this iceberg, so it's here. Essentially, you're playing as Luigi, who's in this big abandoned building for some reason, and Professor Egad calls him on the Game Boy Horror, trying to guide him through the area, and all the while you're getting chased by this bloody ghost Luigi. And instead of trying to fight back with a vacuum like Luigi would normally do, he's actually hiding from the guy like you would in Clock Tower. I played this game when I was very young and I had a lot of time with it, so I recommend it, even though it hasn't aged that well. Super Mario Dolor is a very unique fan game, as it starts off looking like a normal, poorly rendered Mario game, but then it turns to a completely different experience entirely. One minute you're fighting this really cool Piranha Plant boss, and then the next minute you're running from this giant Mario head. And this game is cool and all, but the reason it's really on this list is because Nintendo hates this game. It has a long history of it getting taken down and re-uploaded and taken down again. But if you can find a version of this game, it's a pretty good experience. I highly recommend it. Crucis Mortem is mostly on here because 1, it's about Super Mario Bros. 2, and I wanted to diversify it, and 2, it has its own operating system the game runs it in, and that's really cool. But it does follow standard EXE shenanigans of Luigi goes into the Mario world, it's all glitched and shit, yada yada yada. The sprite art looks really cool. You're running from Big Hands Toad and whatever Mario is supposed to be the entire time, and I mostly just added this game for the sprite art, I won't lie. But overall, it's a pretty cool demo, and also Big Hand Toad does the plug walk, and that's kind of the funniest thing for me. Now, any rational human being, when they see Super Mario 128, would probably think, oh hey, that's the tech demo that Miyamoto made for the GameCube. An even more rational human being would be like, what the fuck is this? I've never heard of Mario 128, that's not a real game. But you fools! This is a creepypasta! The plot of this story is that the Nintendo 64 and GameCube aren't selling too well, and the PlayStation is outselling them, so Nintendo's like, we should make our next Mario game pretty gritty because we haven't had one since 1997. Then Miyamoto goes, oh, you want a Mario game? I'll give you a Mario game. And then this was dropped on the Wii Homebrew channel for some reason. Apparently, it's just Bowser gives Mario a note, but instead of you know, it reading like,
Hey, Mario, I'm gonna kidnap your princess.
it read more like this. Hey, pussy boy, try and get your bitch and I'll fucking kill her. I'll kill you too. So yeah, Mario now grunts and has realistic jump height, and all the toads seem to hate him. And then he goes into a real life city and sees 2 dead children skeletons sitting on a couch for some reason. And then Bowser breaks through the floor for some reason, and he's creepy. Bowser then turns to Mario and says, either Peach dies or you die. And Mario says, okie dokie, then gets stabbed through the gut. Now Mario's walking through hell and he finds a gravestone that says innocence. That's the story. Is it good? Oh heavens no. Is it a good troll pasta? If it was one, yes. A 1RU is one of those creepypastas I found after I got out of that creepypasta phase, and it was really good. The synopsis is that this guy was playing Mario and Luigi, Bowser's Inside Story, and Luigi dies. And then for some reason, Luigi is just missing from the game, and with him, the letter L and the color green all vanish from reality. And this guy is just going absolutely insane at this point, because it just doesn't, you know, happen for one day and then he wakes up. No. This is his entire fucking life right now. And it's mostly him in his room, and then he goes outside trying to wonder what the hell's going on, realizing green and the letter L are missing entirely. And then all of a sudden, Fawful appears. You see, Fawful was actually just taunting him the entire time throughout the story, sending him letters, making him feel bad for killing Luigi because his DS is now haunted or something. And then he just turns him into a slave of Fawful. Okay, my TLDR wasn't a very good synopsis of the story, but if you really want a good deep dive of the story, I recommend the Hey Peter video. That video is really good. But the main reason why I love this story so much is who it's written by. There was a YouTuber named Fawful's Minion, and long story short, I actually grew up watching him a lot. Like, no joke, I think my old YouTube account was subbed to him. But this story was based on a nightmare he had where he essentially lost all control of himself and became Fawful. I think that's also where he got the name Fawful's Minion from, but I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, finding out a childhood YouTuber I watched religiously back in the day made a creepypasta blew my fucking mind when I first read that. Hotel Mario 6 is a game. It's the generic EXE style game, except I hate it and also love it at the same time because it's just so bad. It's pretty much just the Hotel Mario sprite walking through a corridor. He sees Peach. It turns back to Mario looking at Peach, and then Peach is like evil or some shit. Then he walks by a Goomba and it fucking explodes. And then you do a bunch of shitty platforming. That's the entire game. And if you want me to say more about Hotel Mario 6, you're on the wrong YouTube channel. I'm sorry. I'm only covering it because it's a stupid EXE game. Dr. Mario EXE is one of those games I saw and I was initially like, it's just another generic EXE game. I probably won't include it on this list. But I added it anyway because the gameplay to this game is actually really unique compared to every other EXE game out there. With it being 3D and open world and all, that was a big plus. Throughout the game, you're exploring an abandoned hospital, I think, or at least a closed hospital, and you find these hidden stars experiments. Like it looks like someone was trying to incorporate the T-virus here. Wesker, was that you? Was that you, Wesker, buddy? But the viruses from Dr. Mario are now just experiments that are out to kill you, and then near the end of the game, Dr. Mario comes and finishes the job off, and hey, you were playing as Luigi the entire time. It's pretty short and simple, and it was also made for the Luigi Kid Challenge, which I think a couple of these were, but shoutouts to Pookie Bear. We love Pookie Bear. My Mario game is one of the most unique Mario EXE style games on the internet. I know I said TooLate.exe was my favorite, but this one is up there. Mostly because the game doesn't follow the standard, Spooky Marcus theme. No, it's actually got something really cool for the story. Essentially, it starts off with the old bait and switch with this looking like some kid's first ever Mario game, and it actually kind of plays like the one, so good job there. Then it shifts to a really unique art style versatile and actually becomes cool. The entire time you're getting chased by this ghoulish fella named Guilt, and that's because the guy who created this game, Scott, it's actually a manifestation of his guilt when his dad died in a car crash because he was drunk, and the entire game is about Scott trying to cope with the fact that he wasn't the reason why his dad died. Overall, it's a pretty cool game, and I highly recommend you check it out. It's one of the most unique EXE games I've ever played. I won't lie, this story is really long, and I got really bored of it halfway through, so I'm gonna try to summarize it as best as I can from what I remember. The rundown of the story is that this takes place in the 90s, and the author feels the need to explain his entire life. Anyways, the Nintendo 64 releases, he just turns 12, and for his 12th birthday, his parents decide to leave him alone for a week. Who leaves a 12-year-old alone for a week? But they gave him $250. Holy shit.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
So he goes ahead and grabs himself a Nintendo, but this Nintendo was spooky. He got this bootleg sketchy ass cartridge that had a sticky note on it that said "Do not play." He removed it and it was Mario 64. He loads up the game and Peach immediately tells the player, "Don't play this game, turn it off, just get out, man. It's not worth it." And the moment he talks to Toad, Toad threatens to take his life.
I'm gonna kill ya.
That's what he says, or something along those lines. But so far, the game is playing a bit normal. Then he enters a level, and Mario quite literally goes to hell before he dies. Then he goes and fights Bowser. He kicks his ass, and Bowser has black, soulless eyes for some reason. And then it's revealed that Bowser was a skinwalker the entire time. And then he just appears on the infamous endless staircase. Then he sees the portraits on the walls, and there are pictures of him and his dog that died, and he's now spooked out. The entire time this is happening, his door's rattling and shit, like Mario's trying to break in. At some point, Mario has the same black eyes and big smile, and he's just looking at the player. And yeah, Mario's trying to drop in and give our friend here a hug. He gets to the door and he tries to open it, but the author's door in real life is locked, and that door is a rattling. Then Mario by himself just moves and turns to the TV as the author hides under his bed, and the TV just starts to make staticky noises as Mario's literally trying to, get out of the TV. And then with a bit more effort and some explosions and sparks, Mario pulls a Fat Albert and tries to get out of the TV. The author nopes out and falls out a window. He wakes up in the hospital, and it turns out his house burned down, so he and his parents are going to be renting a hotel for the foreseeable future. He doesn't have to go to school because of his head trauma, and his parents are getting a divorce. That's the story. There is so much just useless shit in this story, so much needless fluff. I got lost halfway through. Oh, also, I forgot to mention that the guy who sold him the cartridge, he was found dead. Spooky Marcus in her life. The Big Secret Star Screamer is a very perplexing video. You see, this video is just a classic Screamer video, nothing too fancy. It's just a guy showing you how to unlock Luigi in the game, and when he goes to show you the final step, you get the Screamer from that one commercial. The reason why I've been so invested in this video is because it's lost media, and unlike the Mario from the first entry, this one, it's still lost. It's been partially found, and we at least know it exists, but the full video, it's not found at all. In fact, the only video online right now that really shows it off is a really old reaction video of some guy's 8-year-old brother getting spooked by the video. Oh boys, Isoi! It's Isoi, you guys! It's Isoi! This was the entry that inspired me to make this iceberg, because this story was a trip, and it may have been bad, but it was my kind of bad. But our story starts off with our author getting new Super Mario Bros. 2 for the 3DS. And this author is the most kid author I've ever read because he's written like he's a kid. This guy is so innocent, it makes me love him. But you see, this copy of New Super Mario Bros. 2, it's haunted. There's a demon and he possesses Mario characters in the game and turns them evil. And they kind of get the fucking Kristen Weston Chandler version of naming people because the author just spells their names backwards for any character who gets turned evil. So you got Orium, or the titular Isoi, or Reswab, or Ijol, or even Hiccup. Peach, you got a fucked up name, girl. But the demon makes the characters do something gruesome, and it's so gruesome, the author just flat out refuses to say it to you, and I love that. It proves he's an actual kid because he's so fucking innocent and pure. The story ends with the demon getting exorcised, and then Mario and his friends thank the author. My only question is, why is Yoshi here? He's not even in New Super Mario Bros. 2. Oh boy! Oh boy, baby. Oh boy. I like to call this the room of horror Mario games because it's so bad it's good. My first introduction to this game was from another childhood YouTuber I used to watch named Picaspray. And this game is a fucking trip and a half. Alright, rundown. Mario's broke. He needs a job. Where does he go? Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Yes, we have to talk about FNAF again, unfortunately, but let's move on. He becomes the night guard. Why? That's the position he applied for. That's how jobs work. Get a job, you fucking weird. The animatronics, instantly sus, don't know why he's here, and they all have goofy voices.
You can't hide from your butted body. I'm gonna hug you till you birth.
The entire game is about you making decisions to keep Mario alive and slowly uncovering the lore. And yeah, and then Luigi comes in and he's being guided by like a bear, a plush bear. I don't fucking know who that is. I don't know why, but the Gmod animation in this game is good. Everything else is not. And it was made by people who were very young. I can obviously tell that, so I'm not gonna clown on it too hard. But I can't help but laugh because this fucking game, it tries so hard, and that's what makes it funny to me. I'm very sorry to the devs if you're watching this video.
Bonus stage.
Our first bonus entry is a little horror game I found after I made this iceberg. It's called Mario is Coming After Yourself and You Die. What a beautiful name. And unlike those other pretentious EXE style games with their fancy graphics and their Friday Night Funkins, this game gets straight to the point. You're running from Mario in a Half-Life bunker, and that's what makes this game so amazing to me. In the end, you shoot Mario in the head like he's a dog, and you find out you're playing as Luigi the entire time. I fucking love this game. I really love the games that are just so goofy. I really love those. Alright, this one's at the request of Dylan, and I'm gonna be honest, dude, what the fuck did I just watch? So, he told me about this series called Mario Plush Forever, and sure, it can be on here. It starts off as this typical Mario Plush channel, but then Mario and Luigi start brapping some shit, and it turns out the farts are causing this zombie apocalypse, and Mario and Luigi have to stop it. And this shit is not made for kids at all. Holy fucking shit. Peach gives birth! Peach gives fucking birth, dude! I've never heard of this. Dylan has. He said he grew up watching it and it traumatized him, so he asked me to add it on this list. So it is. Thank you, Dylan. Go check out his art. Fuck you, dude. And that's the end of the iceberg. Are there a ton of Mario horror related media I'm missing? Yes, a lot. I just wanted to focus on a couple I thought were interesting, and I hope you guys thought they were interesting too. I may not be the biggest fan of all of these, but they at least had something to offer, and that's why they're on this list. But I just want to thank you guys for watching the video. Please go check out Stick Drift, and also please just get me to 1K. That's when the Patreon's coming. I'll see you guys in the next video. God bless your souls, and remember, watch out for the spooky Marcos this season.
You big monkey!